if you order this jamon baektae, jamon is, what is jamon? I can't think of it. Ah, anyway, jamon baektae translations here. You get a random sticker and a tumbler. The sticker I got is this one. And I think they also give you a card like this, experiment card. So I'm here at the Frankenstein musical today, and this is the third play slash musical that I'm watching this trip. And it's so amazing how the vibes are completely different between all three of them. When I was at Angels in America, it was mainly an older audience. Everyone was dressed so nicely. And now that I'm at Frankenstein, it seems like it's maybe 60% foreigners. And there are people here in shorts and just random t-shirts. And I keep wondering, is there no dress code for a musical? So far, everyone, I haven't seen a single man yet. Today is the last show for Frankenstein over its, I think, 3-month run. And it's also the 10th anniversary of the musical in Korea. So maybe it'll be special, I don't know. So now I'm just gonna chill here, and you can tell I'm hungover from how bad I look right now. Oh. There's an actor right there. I have no idea who that is. They give you the cares to fit, make you feel better. Another drunk post-shower musical review. Let's go! So I watched Frankenstein the Musical today, and it's the 10th year anniversary of the show. This is my semi-review. I'm so sorry to say this, but this is the messiest musical I've ever watched. And I've watched quite a bit. I watch a lot of musicals, and I've watched like quite a number of Korean musicals as well. So I know the standard of how things should be. I've watched original Korean musicals. I've watched adaptations of internationally acclaimed musicals like Cinderella and In the Heights. But I went into Frankenstein blind. I have to preface that. I went in thinking that it was an adaptation of the novel, but it turns out that it's actually an original play, fully scripted, produced, and I guess, composed in Korea itself. And I didn't know this going in. So as I was watching the musical throughout Act 1, I was just so confused. And I actually Googled the plot of Frankenstein in the first intermission because I was like, this is not the Frankenstein I know. And that's when I found out that it was an original play. So the story almost completely diverges from the novel. I would say the only similarities is just the Victor Frankenstein character. They invented a completely new character of the best friend of Victor. And honestly, Act 1 just played out like a bromance, like a BL, like a boys' love film, where Henry, the best friend, basically sacrifices himself for Victor Frankenstein, and Frankenstein just goes on this crazed madman's hunt to revive the best friend. In terms of story-wise, Act 1 kind of makes sense, except that it was leaning more towards like toxic yaoi kind of thing, rather than, I don't know what they were going for. But then for Act 2, that's when things just started getting messy. Suddenly we're thrown into like a freak show fight club thing where the creature that Frankenstein made, or the revived best friend, suddenly was recruited into maybe like a freak show circus and made to fight other shirtless dudes, and there was just so much nudity. Like all of the dudes on stage were shirtless and suddenly in like chains and whips and collars, and to me there was no context behind it. There was no explanations of why and who these people were. And then Frankenstein had a bride, but there was very little character development around all of the women in the show. They just were there as kids and then appeared again as adults, and then suddenly Frankenstein and Julia, which is the wife, suddenly got married, and there was no emotional connection between them at all. Overall, just a very strangely paced musical, and the acts don't really connect to each other. So I didn't really enjoy it. I almost fell asleep, in fact. Maybe because I didn't have caffeine today, and also the past 2 days were quite tiring. There was just the one saving grace was that because today was the last show of the entire run, they had a 무대인사, which is like a post-show, after-show talk, where all of the main actors and actresses came out to thank the audience. And because the previous run, the previous season, was interrupted by COVID, so this is actually Kyuhyun's first 막공 or like last show 무대인사. And he invited the audience to sing a line from the musical back to him, where it's actually a young Julia tells him, "Don't go, Victor." And the entire audience actually sang the entire verse. And it was just so touching that I didn't vibe with the musical much, but when the audience sang the whole song back at Kyuhyun, I teared up because it was just so touching. And you could tell, like, no hate to any of the actors. I think they were all fantastic, especially Kai, as well as the two female leads. They were just so good at vocalizing and singing. So the performance-wise, it's amazing. It's just the story and the script that's just a little bit weak. And I didn't know that musical actor Kai had that many fans as well. All in all, a very strange musical. Ambitious musical. Would I recommend it? Not really. Did I enjoy it? Maybe. Would I watch it again? No.